The best resource on the internet as far as Australian maps goes is a site called Get Lost. So it's getlost.com.au. The link's on your screen there. And when you open it up, this is the page that you'll find. These are really high detailed maps across Australia, and they're adding more all the time. They also have a Facebook page, so if you're on Facebook and you search Get Lost Maps, you'll find their page, and there's a lot of information there about when they're updating. But it's a continual process, and the maps, the ones that we use mainly, are 1 in 25,000 K. And as I say, these are free. Quite often you'd have to pay quite a bit of money for these sort of maps, but while this resource is there, why not? Now, Get Lost Maps, as I said, is getlost.com.au. When you get to the main site, down the bottom here you'll see there's a downloads button. So if you just left click on that, and it takes you to a page which gives you a bit of information about downloading. They also do them for Avenza if you're running the Avenza software for mapping, but I use Aussie Explorer, so the ones we're concerned with will be these Aussie Explorer files, which of course, as we know, only run on an Android tablet and a PC. They don't run on anything Apple. So to get the map, down here, visit the map table, this button here, and click on that, left click on that. And the map table is basically an index of what's available. You can see the latest one here was only updated this month. I'm doing this in July, and it's an update, but as I say, it's a continual process. And they're in different states, so you've got Victoria at 75,000 K or Victoria 1 in 25,000, so much bigger files and more highly detailed. So it depends what you're doing. If you want to do the Victoria tracks and things like that and you need the detail, then this 25K series would be the one. If you're just touring the sort of the Western Victoria country and you didn't need the high detail, but these 75K maps are really, really good as well. And we'll still give you a lot of detail, say at the tracks in the deserts, but it's just a matter of what file size you want. And the same applies New South Wales, Tasmania, Queensland. They've got 75,000 K maps there for the Tassie and Queensland and South Australia, and at the moment 25K for New South Wales. So they are adding all the time, and you'll find that this list will get bigger and bigger. So let's say we just want to go to New South Wales, and we can expand the set. Now if we decide we want the 25K series, you can just click this little down arrow and it'll show you what's available. Now the Aussie Explorer, forget these Avenza map. If you're looking at for Aussie, then they're the Avenza ones. These are the Aussie ones here. Now you've got 974 maps covering New South Wales, so individual files covering New South Wales in 1 in 25,000 K. If you look at the expand the 75K, it's 365 sheets at 1 in 75,000. So there's a big difference. Obviously the more detail, the bigger the file and the more of them. So let's go and have a look at these. We'll go stick to the 75,000 just for ease of use. So if we click on the, you've got two options. You can have the entire state, which is the whole 365 maps in one zip file. So to that you would just click download, and it opens up another page, and don't worry about that, and just hit download, and that'll start downloading the whole zip file. Google can't scan for viruses, but that's okay. We know these are fine. And then down the bottom here you'll see this is starting to download a file which I think is around about 11 gigabytes. So I'm just going to cancel it for the moment, and because I've already got it anyway, and I'll just close that tab and that one, go back to here. So that's if you wanted the whole lot in one hit, and download them and unzip them. If you look at this other one, this is where the 365 sheets are in individual. These are all on a Google Drive in the cloud, so-called. So it operates really on a Google download system. Now here's the names. If you scroll down here you can see all the files. So there's 365 maps, so in other words there's 730 files, because each map has two. This Lindsay 7129 Lindsay has a map file, which is only 4 kilobytes, and then here's the image file for it in OZF4, which is Aussie format, 28 megabytes. So if I just wanted the Lindsay area, for instance, or Lake Victoria, I'd click on that one, hold the control key down and left click again. So I've now got the two of them. And then if I right click, I can now download. So that would download the two of those, and again it'll come up, it's zipping the file. See down the bottom right here, it actually, what it's doing is zipping the file into those two files into one, and then it'll start downloading down in the bottom left corner here. When you get this little thing here, changes may not be saved, I don't know why it does that, just hit leave, and there it is, it's starting to download my zip file here now. Okay, and that's 29 megabytes. It's actually done the whole thing right now. I just wait till it settles down and then make sure it's done it all. The little arrow here on the left, if I click on that, show in the folder, and left click on that little show in folder icon or tag, it should come up. And here it is there. So I've got, this depends where your browser downloads the files to. Mine are downloaded into a folder I call download maps. So there's the zip file. And if you don't know what a zip file does, if I right click on it, it's a combination of the two. I can extract those files into any directory I want, or if I just extract them here in this directory, if I left click on that, and away it goes. And there's the two files. I'll just open that up so you can see them. So there's the zip file. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to right click and I'll just delete it, save a bit of room, and here's the two files. So one you can see there, 30,000 kilobytes, so and this one, just the pointer file, is only 4 kilobytes. So those two files, I would hold the control key down, put them in memory cop, and then right click. Now I could either go cut or copy into my Aussie Explorer, where I keep all my normal maps. So that's quite an easy process. The other question is, these names, you don't always know exactly in what part of the territory they are. So you may want a series of them. So if you go back to the Get Lost Maps map table again, and we scroll down a little bit further, there's an index maps file. So here, if I expand this, these are the indexes for all of Australia. They're just picture files, and they'll give you the index of the map. So if we go to the download page, left click on download again, and what we had open was the New South Wales file. So the New South Wales index here, there's a JPEG file. There's also a TIF file. So they're both picture formats. One is just a little bit more detailed. You can see the TIF file's 86 megabytes, the JPEG's 35. There's usually nothing wrong with just using the JPEG. So if I click that, and I just double click it, if I'm only doing one, I can just double click it and download it. And it'll start coming up. There it is down the bottom here again. They're not huge files, and depending on your speed they don't take too long. That's downloaded now. So again, this time my computer will actually open it. It's just set to open the files automatically. So here comes the file now. It's just opening up, and there's New South Wales, and you can see all these grid lines. So if I scroll in a bit now, and again, this will be different depending what program you use to look at images or photos. It'll look a bit different. So if I scrolled in now, you know, you might want to find something around this, the Henry Parkes Highway, for instance. So it's a matter of scrolling in and out, finding an area that you're looking for, and it'll give you the numbers of the map. So for instance, this one will go down one here and across one. Now the map name is actually on the border here. You can see on the side it gives you the this is Young, New South Wales 8529S. and actually that map, it'll show you the number. There's 8528N, that's Cootamundra, and that would be, because it's on this side of the border, it's on that side of the map. So we're looking in this section in here, and as you go along, you'll see all the different sections and different names. There's Temora 8429. So if you relay that to your maps, I'm just going to close this image file and go back to the map list, and you can resort this file. If you click on the name here, up and down, and it resorts them, so it's highest number to the lowest, and you click them the other way, it's the lowest to the highest. So what was that other one? It was 8429, I think we were looking at. So if I just scroll down, now this could, you can see down the bottom, it's loading as we go. So I probably picked one that's a fair way down. Keep going. If you wanted to look all the way down, you just sort of got to wait till it loads the list. So there's the 8000s we're coming up to now. We're nearly there. There you go, 8429. There is Temora. So if I wanted that map, I'd be clicking on the map file, the OZF file for it, which is this one here at the bottom, and the map file, which is that one there. You can distinguish them as the dot map and the 4 kilobyte file pointer, and that one. So again, if I hold Control key down and left click on that one, now they're both in download position memory. Again, I could just right click. I think there's an option up here too. You can actually use download there. There it is there, download, so you can hit that button. So there's 3 little dots like a little menu, but I usually just, down here the computer's running a little bit slow, this one's not great on memory, and hit download there, and I'll get those 2 maps again. So each of the states has an index map. So when you look at that index list, we'll close this one down and hit that download button again. And you'll see that, and you've got the Australia index. So if you're wanting to download the whole Australia map, the 250K series, which is up the top here, that one there. Again, now that's all of Australia in 49 sheets at 1 in 250,000. So again, you've got all of Australia in one sheet, 2 gigabyte, and hit download and you'll get to that one. Or you want the whole list of the 49 sheets, it'd be this download button at the top, and that would give you the list of the 49 sheets that are in Australia in 1 in 250,000. And you'd use the index map to do the same as we did before, to find out which area that you want. So you might want a combination of 2 or 3. So that's really all it is. It's a terrific resource, and the guys do an amazing job putting these maps together. They're sourcing them from different locations and compiling them, and they are brilliant maps. And of course, if they're free, it just makes Aussie Explorer, to me, so much better than many of the other options out there.